In this video, we will look at quadratic inequalities. There are several steps that we need to know. Step 1. Solve quadratic inequalities is very like solving quadratic equation. Where quadratic equation we have learned from your secondary school, which one side must be 0 and then we need to factorize. Move all the terms to one side and let 0 term on the other side. So one side must have the variables, another side must be 0. And then third, make sure that our x squared is positive. So our x squared must be positive. Then we factorize, followed by find the critical value and critical line. Number 6, construct the table. And finally, we choose the correct sign. So for quadratic equation, we will solve by using table. And then we will choose the correct sign based on the inequality. In this example, I will show you step by step how to solve quadratic inequalities. Let's say example 1. Solve the inequalities negative x squared plus 5x minus 6 less than 0. So from this question, we can see that one side is already 0, which is less than 0. So now, the next step is we have to make sure that our x squared must be positive. So first, one side must be 0. Second, we have to make sure that our x squared is positive. So for the first step, for this question, the first step will be multiply by negative 1 in order to have the x squared is positive. So here will become x squared minus 5x plus 6. So don't forget, when we multiply a negative value, so now our sign will become greater than 0. So the sign will change from less than 0, now will become greater than 0. Why? Because we multiply a negative value. So next, what I have to do is I try to factorize. You can use your calculator to factorize. From here, we should have x. So in order to get 6, here is 3 and 2. So negative 5, so here is negative, which is greater than 0. So in this question, step 1, we will multiply the negative value. Step 2, I will try to find the critical line. Step 2 is factorize. So step 1, we try to multiply with negative 1. Step 2, we try to factorize. Step 3, we try to find the critical value and critical line. So how are we going to find the critical value? I just let the bracket, which is x minus 3, is equals to 0, or another bracket, x minus 2 is equals to 0. So we have two values, x is equals to 3 or x is equals to 2. So here, this is not the answer. So we have to go to step 4, find the critical line. So now we have two values, one is 2, another one is 3. The smaller value we put on left hand side. So the larger value is right hand side. So in this critical line, we need 3 intervals. The purpose of critical line is just to determine how many intervals we need. So in this question, we need 3 intervals. So next, we will construct a table. Say, I try to construct a table. So here number 5, let's say, sorry. So number 5. So in our fifth step, so let's say here is the fifth step, we will construct the table. So in the first column, so for this table we need 3 columns and 4 rows. So again 3 columns, 4 rows. So for the first column, here we will put interval. Let's say I use black color. So here in the first column, we put interval. Second column, the test value. Third column, sign of. So we will use this factorization, which is x minus 3, x minus 2, greater than 0. So greater than 0. So the interval, we will refer to the critical line. So for the first interval, which is from this, for the first point, or the first star, which is from negative infinity until 2. The second interval, refer to the second star, is from 2 to 3. And the third interval is from 3 to positive infinity. So for the first interval, here, which is from negative infinity until 2. So from negative infinity, so negative infinity is not included, until 2. In order to put not included or included, we refer to this inequality. So this inequality is not included. So let's say, so this inequality is not included. Therefore, we will use, so the not included sign is a round bracket and a small circle. So this is the not included symbol. So from here, therefore, from negative infinity until 2, which is not included. The second interval is from 2 to 3. So from 2 to 3. And the third interval from 3 to infinity. Next, we move on to the test value. So the test value must come from the interval. So from 2 to negative infinity, there are so many values. So we can choose any value. And the most important thing is the value must inside the interval. So let's say from 2 to negative infinity, I can choose 10. You can choose 0 or you can put 1. It's up to you. So from 2 to 3, so I can put 2.5. From 3 to infinity, let's say I put positive 10. Next is we will substitute the test value inside the x. And we just choose the sign. For example, negative 10, when I substitute in here. So negative 10 minus 3 is negative 13. So here we just choose the sign, which is negative. Let's say I show you another example. Negative 10, substitute in x. So here is negative 10 minus 2, which is negative 12. So here is the negative. We just choose the sign. So negative, negative will become positive. Let's say another value, 2.5. So 2.5 again, substitute into x. 2.5 minus 3. You can use your calculator, which is negative 0.5. So the value is negative. So next, 2.5 substitute in here. So 2.5 minus 2, which is positive 0.5. So the sign is positive. So negative, positive, negative. Remember, we just substitute into the x. So 10 here, substitute x. 10 minus 3, positive 7. So here is positive. 10 substitute into x. 10 minus 2 is 8. So here is positive. So finally, positive, positive, we should get positive. So we just substitute the test value into here, x and x. And we just take the sign. So finally, we will choose the correct sign. So how are we going to choose the sign? Remember, in this question, is greater than 0. What does greater than 0 means? Greater than 0 means is positive. That's why we are choosing the positive sign. So therefore, here is the answer. We are choosing the positive sign. Again, why? Because the question requires greater than 0. Greater than 0 means that is positive. So therefore, I choose the positive sign. So the answer will be, let's say, next we go to the answer. So if in interval notation or interval form, the answer will be the first interval and the third interval, which is from negative infinity until 2, and the third interval we will put union from 3 to infinity. So for the real number line, now we have two values. One is 2, another value is 3. Both of them are not included, so it's a circle. 2 approach negative infinity, so here is approach to the left hand side. And then 3 approach positive, 3 until positive infinity, so this one will point to the right. So here is the answer for example 1.